Yes, people, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back, KGX to the ZTV. We got merch, one of one. Nah, shout out my kids. Father's Day gift for me, of course. But folks, folks, Drama FC strikes again. This time, closure, maybe on the Maresca saga, right? Today is the 2 days out from the start of the new fiscal year in football, right? So transfers are being delayed a little bit, right? Because folks want the incomings to come on the new books. Sometimes they might want the outgoings to come on the new books too, unless they're trying to balance the books from the previous season. But yo, it's a lot of drama going on, and what club does drama better than Chelsea FC? So yo, people, what we're gonna do, quick video, right? Because Brazil, Japan's getting ready to kick off in about 15 minutes. So we're gonna run through this statement, and then we'll run through Maresca's statement, and then we'll compare, have some quick thoughts, wrap it up, and get ready to watch some knockout football, right? So club statement dropped 4 hours ago. Chelsea FC appreciates that the 2025-26 season was hugely disappointing one for the club and its supporters. Echo that. A major contributing factor was the disruption caused as a result of the changes. Let's do this real quick for you for those folks that can't, that haven't been eating their carrots. Yeah, there we go, folks. A little bit better. A major contributing factor was the disruption caused as a result of a change that the club was forced to make to the head coach position over the Christmas period, Maresca. Due to recent developments, we considered that it is important to explain to our supporters what happened and why our former head coach left the club on January 1st of this year. So, is this necessary, folks? Did Chelsea Football Club need to come out and make a statement, right? We've already seen the litigation. We've already seen City have to pay, I think, what, 15 to 17 million for the compensation for tapping him up. So is this something, and granted, look, I'm telling you this live in real time. I have not seen this. I have not seen the Maresca response. I just wanted to just do it real quick to react. As always, the truth is always somewhere in between. This board, this ownership, this club over the last 3-4 years has done the most when it comes to sacking managers and then kind of kicking them on the way out. This isn't Maresca Defense League. There's probably some I don't want to say blame, but there's probably some justification as to why Chelsea feels this way from the club side as well. But let's get into it, right? Autumn last year, the club was informed by our former head coach, Maresca, that there might be an opportunity for him to succeed Pep at the end of the season, right? We all knew Pep was retiring, or it became abundantly clear, and then finally we did get the final sign off. It became clear to us that it was his strong desire to succeed Pep, and that he was fully committed to pursuing the opportunity, despite the fact that he was under a long-term contract which he had no right to terminate. Right? I'm gonna tell y'all one thing, folks. Contracts don't mean a goddamn thing. Lawyers can get you out of contracts, whether that's at club football level, whether that's at the at normal walk of life, right? There's high-priced lawyers, and Chelsea can afford. Enzo Maresca can afford. Man City can afford the top lawyers to get them out of sticky situations. We've seen that with UEFA. We've seen that with the FA. We've seen that with the Premier League when it comes to fines and when it comes to rules violations and breaches and things like that. So just a little caveat, right, about the contract part that he had no right to terminate. But look, it's no stranger, right? Maresca came to us from Leicester. Previous to that, he was underneath Pep Guardiola at Man City, so he knows the club. He knows the winning mentality of the club. And yes, even though it's a huge undertaking to follow to follow a legend like Pep Guardiola, they are a club that, as evidenced by the 116 million they just splashed on Elliot Anderson, they will go out and support a manager. They will go out and give a manager exactly what he needs, and sometimes a little bit more than what he needs, as evidenced by Pep saying, you know what, I want a smaller squad because I don't like to leave players up in the stands and all that stuff. So look, I don't blame him. Man City, while they're not a bigger club than Chelsea per se, they are in a much better predicament financially, in terms of winning now, in terms of their current roster, and things like that. So look, that's not an unreasonable thing, right? For a manager at Chelsea to look at Man City in the current predicaments of both clubs. 10 years ago, yeah, absolutely mad, a mad thing. But in 2026, Chelsea fans, we got to be honest about ourselves, and we got to be honest about the state of the club that we're in. Yes, we won a Champions League within the last 5 6 years. We haven't won a Prem in, this will be the 10th year, so pretty much 9 years. We know the domestic record at Wembley when it comes to cups and things like that. We've been in 2 3 title races. None of them lasted longer than 6 months. So look, it's no it's not, I wouldn't be lying. I wouldn't be telling anything untrue if I said that right now Man City is a more attractive club than Chelsea Football Club. They pay better wages, they have better players, they have higher goals. They've had one of the greatest, if not the greatest manager of all time that just walked out. A side that finished second, whose down year was 2 domestic trophies, a final 16 exit in the Champions League and so forth. So look, it is what it is, right? December of 2025, our head coach unexpectedly and abruptly resigned from his position. Obviously, we felt let down as we believed that his head and heart were focused on another club and opportunity, despite having just arrived at Chelsea the year before, right? His heart's not in it. Maybe the board knew that. Maybe Maresca knew that. He obviously is close relationship with Pep, so he probably knew way ahead of time that Pep was leaving, and Pep probably did a Sir Alex thing where he handpicked his successor, like Sir Alex did with David Moyes. Obviously, that didn't work out well at all. But Maresca, I don't want to say he's a better coach than David Moyes, but he's walking into a better situation than Moyes walked into with that aging Manchester United squad that Fergie pretty much lifted over the line with the likes of Van Persie and the likes of some older players, right? No club wants to change its head coach midway through the season. However, in light of the decision not to continue fulfilling his responsibilities through the end of the season, the club felt it was left with no choice but to protect our players, our supporters, and the badge, and accept his resignation. So I do agree with him on that part, right? If somebody doesn't want to be there, whether that's any type of relationship, personal, professional, it's best to part ways. Best to part ways. In the circumstances and given the mutual respect between clubs, a confidential statement has been reached with Manchester City, which includes payment of compensation. Nice little dig in there. Run us those P's, Man City. A confidential settlement has also been reached with former head coach, under which he will pay compensation. So there were reports that said Maresca walked away and was not going to get any money. Very similar to Rossini, although Rossini I think got at least paid out for the rest of his contract for this season. But this is news to me that not only are we getting money from Man City, but we're also getting a little bit of money from Maresca. Although I'll be honest with you, I don't really want the money from Maresca. Man City, yeah, pay up a little bit, but Maresca, that's a little bit too much. But we don't know how much it is. It could be something minuscule, or it could be millions. Who knows? Looking forward to next season in Xabi Alonso, we have a manager who has an exceptional football mind and is a professional of the highest integrity. A little dig there at Maresca, right? Saying maybe he's not a professional of the highest integrity. He has all the attributes to deliver the success the club supporters deserve and expect. Yeah, interesting thoughts, right? Again, don't feel like the club needed to come out with this statement. I don't know the timing or whether or not this statement came out before Maresca's. I did see this one before Maresca's statement, but I'm sure the PR departments for both Maresca and for Chelsea Football Club were trying to eagerly. They probably had insight trying to get this out before to make themselves look as the good guy in this situation. So there's the club statement. Let's look at Maresca's statement. At the end of December 2025, I made the difficult decision to leave Chelsea. The decision was only mine. My resignation from Chelsea opened a path for me to join City, which is a club I knew very well. I'm ecstatic that I have now joined Man City. I recognize that my departure from Chelsea in the middle of the season caused disruption for the club, and I apologize for that. It was neither my intention nor my wish. I was treated well by everyone at Chelsea, and together we achieved great success and memories that are always treasured. 2 trophies, Club World Cup, Conference League. I'm grateful to the club, the owners, and the fans for the opportunity. So very high road for Maresca. Um, very short and very chat GPT-ish when it comes to um, that sort of statement. As you can see, it's being kind of reported by all the aggregators. Fabrizio being the chief aggregator amongst them. Alexis, shout out Alexis, CFC Daily. Um, so yeah, both sides. We know both sides were kind of cheating on each other. That's why I don't harbor too much blame from Pep. Of course, it would have been nice if Maresca would have just seen it out and sort of kept this under wraps, which he probably could have done and still got the Man City job, because the rumors about who they were looking at um, were pretty much early indicators. The bookies' favorites were always Man City. So could he have coached to the end of the year and still gotten that job? Probably, but maybe Maresca didn't want to take that chance, didn't want to take that risk. So look, I harbor no will towards Maresca. I think he's a very good coach. I think he's walking into a good situation, but a situation that's going to be very difficult for him to follow the likes of a living legend. A club that demands trophies, demands to be in and around it, although they haven't won a league in 2 years, which is long for them. But a lot of blame on both sides. I'll be honest with you, I'm tired of it. I'm happy to see the back of this pause. And we move on, right? We've got our man in Jabi. They've got theirs in Maresca. Will this storyline get repeated in 4 or 5 months when we play Man City in the league? Absolutely. It's the tabloids, the journos are going to be all over it. But for right now, we've got Jabi Alonso. They've got Man City. They're doing transfer business. We're doing transfer business. We've got a good relationship with Man City. We've bought players from them. We've bought youth players from them. We've sold players to them. They've sold players to us in the past. So it's a relationship that I'd like to see us continue. Right, Blue Cartel, Blue Brothers fighting the good fight. Both mired in legal lawsuits and things like that. So our lawyers probably shared notes and stuff. But hopefully this doesn't discourage them, right? They've been looking at Malo Gusto. I'd love to get Gusto out. So we'll see. We'll see. But now, folks, I appreciate everybody locking in. I appreciate the support and the love as always. As you can see, the merch again. Shout out the kiddies for that, the picnic them. But hit that like button, hit that subscribe, turn those notifications on, and I will see you at the next one. Peace.